Okay, that was just kind of an overview of everything that we're going to do. I got 9 things I'm going to pour. 2 concrete vessels, 1 tray, 2 big tea lights, 4 coasters, a soap dish, and a business card holder. All of the formulas are on these 2 little cards here that I drew up last night, and these are also in the description of the video, so I really don't need these anymore. I've also put down on these the volumes of either cement or of water. This is to keep things straight, because as you see, I got a whole bunch of stuff up here. I'm trying to keep everything straight. So I'm going to mix these, add my colors, add my colors, and just kind of go right down the row here. I am going to be pulling these things off of here as I go along, because it's going to be an awful lot of stuff going on. So I may leave a couple up here, but most of them I'll probably take off, because it's not like I need them up here after I get done pouring it. So I may just take them off. So that's it. So I'm going to do the 2 cement vessels first. Mix some red in, mix some gold, do the trays, do the 2 tea lights, do the 4 coasters, do a soap dish, and do a business card holder, all using the red and gold. The red is this one I got from Walmart, and I get this gold one online because it's the only place I can get something this big. So that's it, and I'm just going to start going. So I'll add my red and get my red floating on the top. And I'm going to add some gold and get the gold floating up on the top. And what I mean floating is I don't want this stuff to get mixed in with the cement. I'm just going to do it lightly. Mix this around. Try to break up any big globs of paint. And I like to keep these wiped off because I just reuse them. So what I'll do is I'll just see that red and gold. I'm just going to pour it around the outside. And I'll turn this as I go to get some of that paint off that's kind of sticking up on the side. Because I want to get that paint right before it's full. I'm just going to move it around in a circle here, just to make sure we don't get any air bubbles. See, I get some little air bubbles popping up. I don't tap these things that much. But what I may do is I may break the bubbles with my little skewer if I can. If not, I use my finger. So then we'll finish pouring this one. Okay. And we'll get it from the side. Make sure we're not overfilled, and we're not overfilled. So that's 1 down. So what I'm going to do is just put it right there. And we'll get number 2 going. So that's my 1B, 1A and 1B. And I like using these little paint scraper things because they got nice 90-degree angles on the edges, so it gets down and make sure that nothing else gets stuck inside these things. Looks pretty good. Put that in there. Put my red in here and float it up on the top. And then let's put some gold in there and float it up on the top. A little bit more. Mix this in very gently just in the top. And the idea here is to not mix it into the cement, but mix it up on the top so there's no big lumps of paint. And pouring it, so you got that nice gold and red going on there. It's just going to be so pretty. So just go around the outside. And I may turn this, try to get some more of that paint up. And then I'd like to turn this around. Sometimes squishing in a little bit, see if there's any air bubbles. No air bubbles. We're just going to finish this one off. Stick that back there. Now, since that stuff is there in the middle, I'm going to tap on it gently to get it to go down. Save sanding. So this one should have started to set up. I'm just going to move this one over here. Let it sit. Move this one over here. Let it sit. Bring my tray down. And then time to do the tray. So that's number 2. Because I did 2 of the cement vessels. Okay, that looks pretty good. Let's put that in there. Float our red on the top again. And put our gold up on the top. It's going to have more red in there. One of the things I do with this skewer is I feel around to see if there's any lumps in there as I'm going along. Okay, so I'm going to pour this tray over here because I don't want to move it after I pour it. So I'm just going to come over this way, all around the outside of the tray. See, I got that nice paneling inside. Tap this down a little bit. This little pile down, don't work it too hard. Okay. It's all about being gentle so you don't mess up the design underneath. Okay, tray is done. Now I'm going to do one of my little globes. I know that this video is going to get kind of long, so I'm probably going to break it in half. I'll do this one, then I'll do part 2. I'm already up to about 14 minutes. So I'm going to do this one, and then I'll do part 2. I don't know if you want to watch a 30-minute video. I mean, I can include it all in the one video. Maybe I'll do that to make it a little easier for everybody. It's all going to be in one spot. This one is one based on the quantity that I'm going to pour. I may add color part of the way in, where the bottom of it will be a little bit bland. All the color will be up top and there won't be any color below. So big thing is make sure that there's no lumps in here. And really, if there is, it's not a big deal because this is one big globe. So we shouldn't have any clumps in there anyway. So let's do my red. I'm just going to leave that there because I'm probably going to need to do it for the second piece of this pour because I'm going to do one piece and then I'm going to do the second piece of the pour. So let me mix this around. This is all about making sure there's no big clumps of paint and working from that point. And I just reuse these skewers. I'm going to put this over here and see, we've got lovely red and gold. This is going to look so cool. And I'll turn it as I pour it to try to pull some of that color off the wall. is going to look really good right at the top. Oh yeah, looks cool from the outside. After I get done pouring this, I'll take the camera down and I'll let you see what it looks like from the side. Because looking at it from the side looks really cool. As you can see how it's going to look. There's the next one. That's my little donut, as I call it, because it looks like a donut. So I like these clear-sided molds or opaque molds because then I can see what the sides are going to look like and adjust appropriately. Molds that are kind of a dark solid color, I'm relying on it working the right way. And see this, I'm just going back and forth, making sure that there's no lumps in there. Here, this just keeps my areas cleaner. That's all it really does. Doesn't. Let me put some of that in there. And what I should do is probably move this over so you get a better picture of what I'm doing. Okay, so then what I guess I'm going to do, I'll pour that one up there. And I'll move this right here so you can kind of see what I'm doing. But I'm just going around in here gently and breaking up any big globs of paint so it's not so bad. Just wipe my little skewer off. And then I'm just going to pour this in. And this one I'm just going to rotate it a little bit. Rotate a little bit. Right there. And just leave them alone. Just leave them be. Okay. Chugging along. So now we got our coasters. Getting there. I like doing coasters. They're easy to do. The beachy candles I make, I give them away as a little freebie. It's also one of those things that you can bring people in your booth with. I often a set of coasters for $10 or something like that. People will come to the coaster. I mean, people will come into the booth to see what else you may have. I like putting this up on its side because then I can see if there's any lumps in there as I'm doing this. Looks pretty good. Let's put that up there. I knew I'd be running out of space a little bit here to work with some of this stuff. Now this one, I'm going to pour the tops on both of them first, because that's where the biggest chunk of color is going to be, is in the top piece of the coaster. So I'm not going to pour them all at once. So I'm going to pour the top first. Make sure we got something in every corner. I like to dump them a little bit there. Make sure we got good coverage. And then make sure my corners are good. Because if anything's gonna miss, it's gonna be the corners. As you see, this one doesn't have a whole lot of color in it, so this is where I'll add a little bit more. Just a little bit, to get me a little bit more color to finish with this pour. Not much, because you're not going to really see it, but this is more of the aesthetics for me to get it looking right. Scrape a little bit down in there. So now let's finish these guys off. That stuff had a little time to set. Because what I don't want to do is get the color to move too much underneath it. So these I normally do almost kneeling down so I can see how far I need to fill them. That looks very good. Gimme. I'll go here and work this down a little bit. These will lay flatter when they dry. Looks like little peaks, but it's actually not that bad. Sometimes what I may do with these is do a little twist. That kind of breaks down what I need to break down there. That looks pretty good. Those bumps will go away. I'm not worried about those. So let's do the next ones. Just chugging along. Get these guys roll on. I don't like moving things after I do it. I like leaving them there. Leaving for probably 15-20 minutes after I get done with them. So let them start to cure and solidify, and then I'll move them. What I'll do while I'm doing that is I'll get all these big paint containers out of here, get everything cleaned up, then I'll get everything organized where I can get it all organized. So I'm just doing the same thing here. And I'm getting far over in the frame. Let's see what I can do about that. I may have to move this where I have the camera. I may have to move it over to the right to get the last two in. Which may be the easiest thing to do. And it looks like my phone is ringing in the background, but I'm not worried about it. I'm not going to check it anyway. Okay. We're up to 25 minutes already. I had a feeling this would take me about a half an hour. Okay, so there's the red. There's the gold. I'll stick these over here. Work this in. Wipe that off because I like to reuse things. I don't like to throw away stuff if I don't have to. Okay, that looks pretty good on that one. And I'll turn this to get do my little thumping in the corners. Get that stuff to lay down. Scrape this down a little bit with the skewer, get that back down to the bottom. Add a little bit more red. Not much, because there's not much cement all left in there. Just a little bit of gold. Mix that in. This is where if you would do this all at once for all 9 of these things, the amount of paint you would put in here would just gum this whole thing up. So it's easier to do it. And it may take longer doing it this way, but it's okay, I don't mind. Okay. I normally do these and they're closer to me when I do them, so I don't have to do this so hard. These little bumps down. It's easier to work the bumps down now than it is to sand. I almost never sand my things. Because if I can work these bumps down prior to everything getting hard, I'm better off. So I'm going to pause this and move it over so you guys get a better view of the last two. Right back. Okay, last two. Soap dish and business card holders. I like doing soap dishes and the business card holders. It's kind of a little fun stuff to do, a little different. They're actually pretty popular. You can see a little bit better now. I'm actually able to work down so you can actually kind of see what I'm doing. looks good. So let me get my red in here. I'm not going to use as much in the soap dishes because they can get a little overpowering. I do like the gold in there, though. It looks really cool. Okay, so yeah, same concept. Lightly mix it just on the surface. No big globs of paint. Keep re-wiping off my skewer. Make sure that the skewer is usable. These guys, I don't normally pour with my left hand though, so. I normally pour with my right, so I get a little bit better control. Okay. Same thing, do a little thump in here and get that. Then I will come and work this little pile down. I mean, you can work these things down by turning it and doing a lot of work to get it to lay flat. But I like to do minimal amount of messing with the mold because a couple of air bubbles here. I want the pattern to stay, and the more you mess with this, the more the pattern's going to go away. Okay, last one. I'm going to do this from this side because I have the room. Okay, so let's do that. Put my cup over here. I'll just have a little bit extra water here just in case I need it. I have 3 different molds for business cards, but this one I like the best. This is the one that we actually use in our vendor booth to put our own business cards up. And it makes a real slick looking business card holder. I think it looks really, really classy. Just a straightforward business card. Okay, done with reds. Yeah, this is a little bit thinner mix because this mold itself is pretty narrow, so I like to make sure that we get this all the way down to the bottom of this mold. Okay. I gotta pour from this side. Sorry, I gotta pour from this side. This is not a very large mold either. It takes about 100 grams. So it's a pretty small mold. Okay, so let's look at it from the side. Maybe a little bit more. Yeah. Okay, that's gonna look pretty good. I have an air bubble here and one there. That one doesn't want to go away. Okay, let's look at it from the side. do a lot of this on my knee, because I like to make sure that they're fairly flat on the bottom. This is another thing where you don't mess with it too much, get it laying flat, and you're done with it. Cool. Okay, I'm going to take you off the stand here, so hold on for a second. Okay, so this kind of shows you, we did one big pour. Actually 9 little pours, you want to call them 9 little pours. And those are my containers. Back here, here's all my water stuff, all labeled. And here's our trays, or everything here. I'll get everything cleaned up and I'll check them in about 2.5 hours. Okay, thanks, bye.